Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and by the time you receive this, I guess I can say to you Happy New Year. I hope you had a good Christmas. I tried to. And during Christmas I have been getting away up into the loft to do some modelling, and I've started a new project, and I'll show you what it was, or what it is rather, because I'll take you through the project as we develop it. So on the bench I have some bits and pieces, including this piece, which I got from an old Nerf gun, and looking at it, it strikes me that this could be a good anti-grav transport. I have something here which gives me a down-facing engine vector thrust, and a backward-facing engine vector thrust. So, if that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, so that's going to be the basis of this build. I will also have a rider. I'll show you that. So I also have this seat structure, which is also from a Nerf gun, funnily enough, which can go on the front there, and then I also have a motorcycle rider which can go there, and there you have it. You see, you've got the idea for this anti-grav machine. It's not going to look anything particularly like a motorcycle or anything like that. It's going to be just hopefully a grand collection of junk which has been thrown together to become an anti-grav machine. No particular design at the moment. It's going to develop organically. I have this particular bit here, which hopefully will be the back engine. Again, bits of junk thrown together. So that's going to be the back engine fitting at the back there. Yeah, we'll attach that. That's as far as I've got at the moment. So it's going to be put together from anything I can find, and we'll see what I can find basically, and yeah, we'll have a look at it as it develops. So that's the start. Let's get on with it. And so after 2 or 3 hours, progress has already been made, and we have put the saddle on. I'm going to call it the saddle, the yellow saddle, and a back section here has begun to be moulded along there. Lots of filling to do, of course, but the basic shape is there, I think, and that works quite nicely. So yeah, then I have no idea what's going to happen at the front at the moment, but I think we've got the basis of a flying machine. And if I put the rider in there, we can see roughly what it's going to look like. So yes, we'll make progress, and we'll see how the progress continues. Right, onward and upward. Let's continue. Right, I haven't stuck it on yet, but I've got the front sorted out, I think. So that's the general shape of the anti-gravity ship, or anti-gravity transport rather, and I think that's going to work. It's somewhat, perhaps one could call it conservative in shape, I don't know. It looks fairly obvious, but no, I think it's going to work. It's going to work. Let me just put the figure on, and then we'll have a look at that like that. Like, there you go. Okay. Yeah. I think that's pretty good shape. Right. Obviously, lots of details and stuff like that to do with it, but it's looking doable. Yeah, I think that's going to work. Right. Well, that's the end of today's session. Lots more to do, of course, and I want to do lots more piping and stuff like that, because it's going to look a lot more of a junk kind of ship by the time I finish with it. But the general shape, I think, works nicely. Okay, so more progress has been made. I have put the front piece on, what I call the engine intake, and I've actually filled it in so that I can put some detailing into the front there, which is quite good. Oh. And I have also done the back bit as well, put the back engine on as well, or rather the, well, yes, the engine at the back. Yeah, what I would call the exhaust pipe at the back. So yeah, so that's a bit more work done on it. And as regards the figure, what I've done is I've actually glued the handlebars onto the figure itself, so that when I place the figure in, the handlebars will be sitting correctly. And then all I'm going to have to do is to fabricate some way of joining the handlebars to the main body of the vehicle, so that it looks like he's gripping the handlebars. But this is a kind of a cheat, really, because as you can see, the handlebars are attached to the figure already. But it just gives me then an idea of how to place it. So I can now place the figure more or less. Place the figure more or less correctly onto the vehicle, and it looks quite neat that way. So yeah, that's the little cheat I've done, but it'll work out well when I've placed it properly. I also want to do a lot more work on the figure this time, and create more of a punk kind of cyberpunk look to the figure, but I'll do that at a later date. But the handlebars are in place, so at least I know where he's going to be sitting. Right, onward and upward, let's continue. Right, well, I have to say that between that last section and this one, I was almost on the verge of giving up with this model, because I just couldn't find what I was looking for, the right pieces. What I wanted to do was to develop exhaust piping, so that I could have like a kind of a kind of heavy duty motorcycle, but or racing car, but I couldn't find the components. And I started out by putting this section on, and then I didn't know what to do with it. And I hunted and I hunted and I hunted, and I just couldn't find the right pieces. And then I found this piece here, which then could be joined to this piece here, but then I had nothing to connect the two parts up, that piece and that piece down there. So I was looking and looking and looking, and then I found these bits of wiring, and they're heavy duty electrical cabling, but because they're heavy duty, they would fit. They have the right diameter to fit into those parts, but they were a pig to bend and shape, and they still are, because of well, you can see the heavy duty cabling inside. That's metal, that is heavy duty metal and stuff, and these are one hell of an issue to bend. But anyway, I did succeed. I succeeded in bending them, so I've now got that side done, and of course when it's all painted it will look like metal. And I've been able to do the other side as well. And there's the other side. Um, that's plastic piping from spray bottle parts, and then going down into another little area here, and then again the heavy duty cabling and piping to look like an exhaust pipe into the other area down here. I've also stuck a little greebly on here which has a hole in it, and that's going to take some more cabling in there as to form some kind of structure there, which is quite interesting. So yes, so that's the front part of the land speeder kind of fabricated there, and I think that's going to look okay. Now what I'm going to see if I can do, I'll turn it around, you can have a look, is the back part now. Now what do? Do I leave these as exhaust pipes, or do I just use that as a motif, and bring them up so that they both join the main engine at the back? It's logical that they wouldn't be exhaust pipes as such. They would actually join the main engine, because you wouldn't have a main engine and exhaust pipes at the same time. You'd have to have some kind of logical connection. So that's my next thinking. That's my next little construction issue to iron out. But yeah, I'm happy that we have got there in that way because, as I said, I was having a great headache with that until I found the right parts. But now it's looking better. So onward and upward. Let's continue. So more fabrication done on the back. Again, took me a hell of a long time to bend those damn tubes, the wiring, because it's so stiff and so on. But I managed to do it. So yeah, so we've got this structure here. This will probably be some kind of fuel tank, I think, and then connected into the bottom structure, and then some tubes coming out this way into the main engine. As you can see, I've also done some work underneath the engine to give it some more structure down there, and then we'll turn it around again, and then whoops, if I can get it properly placed, there you go. And then on that side as well, tubes coming out of that structure and into the engine at the top, and some more work underneath there with some greeblies and bits and doodahs and bits and pieces. So that's what it looks like there. So it's beginning to take on some kind of mishmash of a constructed anti-gravity ship, which has been made by the owner out of the parts that he could scavenge from junkyards and so on and so forth, which I think, or she that is, not just he or she has been able to scavenge these parts and has produced this kind of mishmash of an anti-gravity racer or land speeder, and I think it's beginning to work very nicely. Right. Well, now we come to the idea of more wiring to add to it as well, and other bits of greeblies. But I think the general shape is more or less there. And of course, when it's all painted, when I put the primer on it, it's going to pop nicely. But I want to put lots more little bits of wiring now, little greeblies and stuff like that, and fill in some of the holes and the gaps which we've still got. But yeah, it does work, and also with the rider in place as well. I think that's looking pretty good. So yeah, it's coming along. It's coming along. A nice anti-grav racer or road land speeder there. Possibly from the Star Wars universe, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. It could be from another kind of universe. Yeah, cyberpunk kind of universe. You can't tell the sex of the rider, so it could be male or female, and that's okay too. Right, onward and upward, let's continue. So we're just about ready for the first coat of primer. I've filled in quite a lot of the little gaps with putty and so on and filler. I've worked on the dashboard for the cockpit. So we're going to put on a bit of primer now, and we'll see how the thing pops when I've done that. And then we'll go back over it again and start adding the smaller details like the wiring and so on and so forth. But the general shape is there. I'm not sure about the cockpit, the glass cockpit at the moment. This piece here, we're going to have to put some Copydex on that, on the transparent pieces, and then I can spray it so that the raised relief, which you can see in that in that light, will come out. And then I'm going to have to do the same on the other side, but the raised relief is only on one side, so I'm going to have to put the Copydex quite carefully along the pattern of the transparency and see how far we can get. But we'll see how we go. Right, well, let's get the the primer on. So that's the first coat of primer done, using the rust coloured primer, because I'm going to rust it up and make it generally a beaten up machine. So the rust coloured primer gives me a good base to work from. So there, it begins to pop with the primer on, unifying all the structures together. We'll just turn it round, and that's the other side. What I have deliberately done, I'll just turn it around so you can see, is I have deliberately masked off the chrome on these areas so they weren't covered in primer, because I like the idea of the chrome, and I'm going to dirty down the chrome a little bit but keep the chrome as a general colour, because that works nicely. There's a little bit of touching up to do, and that's fine. Yeah, so that's the primer on. Now I've got to go back over it now with scribble it up a bit more with wiring and so on. Still haven't done the cockpit. No, I need. The reason I haven't done the cockpit is I looked at my Copydex and it was just a rubbery lump. Someone, I'm not going to say who, left the top off. Yeah, it was me. So I've got to get some more to our Copydex, so that'll have to wait for a little bit. But I can still get on with some more wiring of this and wire it up a little bit more. And then when all that's done and the cockpit's done, we'll have a look at the rider. Let's have a look at the rider. Now, what the rider needs to be done. So we need to work on the rider, and what we need to do there is to I'm going to do a kind of backpack on the rider, and I've opened up the legs because obviously they wouldn't fit onto the saddle if I hadn't have done that. So we'll fill in those, and we'll make it a little bit. I don't know. I might try and see if I can get it to look more like he or she is wearing a kind of cloth overcoat on it. I don't know yet. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that, but anyway, we're gonna work on the rider a little bit more as well. All right. Well, let's continue and see how far we can get. So, getting back to the rider, you will see that I have decapitated him. And the reason I've done that is because I wasn't happy with the fact that he was going to have a helmet on. So I've decided to try my hand at a bit of sculpture. And to that end, using the milliput sculpting material, I have sculpted a little head for him. It's going to be a him now because it doesn't look like a she really anymore. Don't laugh. It's my first attempt at trying a head. It hasn't come out too badly, and I think it will fit onto the rider's body itself. I've tried it for scale. It seems to fit. I'm going to obviously paint it, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to then get some cloth material and put some cloth over it and a shawl to make it look as if well, he's basically dressed in a kind of shirt. And so let me do the head. I'll paint the head, and then we'll see where we are. I'll put the head on, and then I'll start putting the cloth onto it, and you'll see what I mean. So as a first attempt, I don't think that looks too bad. Alright, it's a little bit cartoony, but you'll see I'm going to put a shroud on it now, which will I think hide some of those details. Yes, I think the head is a little bit too large. It's a little bit out of proportion. But well, as I say, it was the first time I tried it, so I don't think I've totally destroyed the idea. And I've also painted up the handlebars as well. But now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the cloth on it, and you'll see what I mean. I think that's going to save the idea. I'm not going to give up yet. I think we're getting there. And so here I have put the cloth on him, the shroud, as I say, and I think I think that kind of works. I think it does. It makes it more realistic, and I've dirtied down the shroud a bit. It makes it look as if he's wearing, yeah, a kind of desert clothing. I put a little belt on him as well, and I think that kind of works. If I put it on, if I put him onto the speeder, you'll see what I mean. There he is in position on the speeder. Um, I don't think that's too bad for a first attempt, really. I think that's all right. Yeah, the head still looks a little bit off, but he could also be a mutant or some kind of alien. But I think that kind of works. Um, if I do this again, I'll get better at it. But you definitely got a head there, and you've got a figure sitting on top. And once, of course, I've done all the other painting for the speeder, I think that's going to. I think that sort of sets it off quite nicely. So, all right, look, it's not perfect. It's not perfect. I don't pretend it to be perfect, but I think it was. I think it looks better and more authentic than the helmeted figure I had before. It's less cleaner. It's more rugged. It's more grungy, and that's the kind of look I really wanted. Kind of grungy figure on top of the speeder. So yeah, I'm kind of happy with that. Right, let's continue. Now I've got to do the speeder itself now. So today I have been fabricating more stuff for the figure, and as you can see, I'll just take him off. You can have a closer look. So I've made him into a kind of cyberpunk figure. It kind of hides the bad sculptural quality I had with the head, but I have added greeblies to him to make him look, as I say, well, he's this kind of desert cyberpunk scavenger, or perhaps just a scavenger on a planet. I'm not sure if it really is from the Star Wars universe now. There could be, I suppose, you know, something. It could be from that universe. But anyway, I have added bits and pieces to him to make him look a scavenger, a desert rat from a desert planet, and I think that it fits in quite well with the rest of the machine. I'll just put him back, and you can see him in situ. There he is, sitting astride his machine. Now I have also done the cockpit, and I think the cockpit is best placed in that position eventually, when I eventually get to put it all together. So I'm going to touch it up because I'm not happy with the paintwork. The paint is looking a little bit iffy. I might put some plastic styrene down the horizontals, just to make it look a bit better. That looks alright, but yeah, it looks a little bit. It needs to be scraped and and tidied up around the edges. But anyway, that's the not the cockpit. What am I talking about? It's the windscreen, isn't it? The windscreen's going to go there, I think, in as a whole. But that's in the future. All right. Well, that's what I've got. That's what I got as far as with today. Now I want to go back onto the model itself and put more piping and cable work, I think, and perhaps a few more little greeblies, a bit more detailing along it. I'm toying with the idea of putting some kind of rucksack, or because I quite liked the idea of how I was working with the cloth. Now that I've got an idea of how to work with cloth, I could cover some of this in cloth and make it look a little bit more, yeah, a little bit more ramshackle. It's got cloth on it, bits and pieces dripping from it. We'll see. All right, let's continue. So moving on, I have tidied up the window screen by putting some styrene along the bits that were a bit rough. which makes it look a bit more industrial. But I haven't obviously put it on yet because I still want to sort of do the painting of it, and then the windscreen will go on kind of last of all, I think. And I've also down here done some more fabrication, and I've fabricated two fins, directional fins, or rudders, or whatever you want to call them, and they are going to go on the front like so. So I'm going to stick those on, rather like the other runner that I did some time ago, so the other anti-grav thing, but I think they look good with the little fins going down. And these were very simple. These were just I think you might recognise this from the fins from a Pose Land Speeder toy, and then some other greeblies and broken bits. Whoops, there you go. Just to make a connecting arm, and then I'm going to put those on now. So I'm going to put those on now, and we'll see what those look like, and then we'll have a look at the hole and see where we are. So there are the fins securely on now, and yeah, I'm happy that it really does take on the grungy diesel punk look that I was kind of hoping for. And all that really remains now is for me to do the tidying up and the final paint work, because I think I've got to the stage now where we're almost there. I think we're in profile. That looks all right. Oops, just a bit more light on that so you can see. Hang on, well, the light's gone out. There you go. So there, that's the profile, and yeah, happy with the industrial look of it. So yeah, tidying up, doing a little bit more filling, and then I think putting the windscreen on, and I think we've got the runner almost completed then, and it's looking all right. It's looking good. Right, onward and upward. Let's continue with the tidying up and then the final painting. Okay, guys. Well, there you are. That's the tidy up and the painting done. I put all the washes in that I wanted to put in, and I grunged it up as much as I possibly could, and put in some chrome highlights, and yeah, there you are. The steampunk, diesel punk, anti-gravity machine runner is finished, and I'm quite happy with the final result. Really, I decided in the end not to put the windscreen on because the windscreen wasn't working as a shape, and I think it looks better without it. But we'll go on a little journey round, and you can see how far we've come. That's the other side. As I say, yeah, it was quite a bit of going over with different washes to get the final result, because I kind of went too much in one direction at one point and had to steer it all the way back again. But no, quite happy with how we finished it up. That's it from that angle, and I'll show you the detailing on the figure, because I was quite pleased with how we got there in the end. The tactical headdress is on, which I'm quite pleased with, and he looks suitably grunged as well, so that's quite good. So yeah, down to the front like that. Perhaps it's a bit dark, but I wanted it to have a very, very heavy, battered and rust kind of look to it, which I think it has. There it is from the back, and underneath with the pipework. So yeah, happy with the what it looks like there. I say it's not necessarily a Star Wars figure, but if you want to say that it's in the Star Wars universe, well, that's fine. That's all right. But happy we got there in the end. There you go. Just line it up a bit more. that side, along there. I might put the windscreen on it at some point, but for now I think it looks better if I leave it off. Okay guys, so that's the diesel punk land speeder, speeder bike, or just whatever, or anti-gravity machine finished, and happy with how that turned out, and really happy with what I discovered about working with sculpting figures, because I think the figure works really nicely as well as a kind of scavenger on a distant planet. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll meet you on the next one in a month's time or thereabouts, because I've decided I'm going to try and, when I do these videos now, try and do a complete video, get the damn thing finished, rather than getting halfway finished and then starting another one. So I really want to made a New Year's resolution to sort of get them as finished as much as I possibly can, so you can watch the final result. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. So Happy New Year to you guys, and catch you next time. Bye now.